They say fans will climb a mountain to see the NASCAR Winston Cup Series, and that's exactly what they've done here in Phoenix. Wally going to the hip to buy those seats for those fans. Not exactly up front, but they can see the greens out. Alan?
Nice of you to rejoin us there, Bill. I know, next time you need a break, you don't have to have somebody break your microphone or something. Come on. All right, Kurt Busch is the leader. Rusty Wallace is second. Elliott Sadler is third, worked on by Jeff Gordon. The 1 car and the 15 car are a lap down, not in the mix for the race for the lead.
Rusty Wallace at 2 car. When we played that interview we did with Rusty earlier in the week, I think you folks heard the hunger for a victory in Rusty Wallace's voice. He wants to win today or next week so badly he can hardly stand it.
Jeff Gordon looks like he's going to finally get inside of Sadler and finish that pass. Remember, Gordon hit tires on that last set of pit stops, but Sadler did not.
Rusty is getting through the center of the corner, especially in 3 and 4, a lot better than the 97 car of Kurt Busch. Taking a look down low, but really in 3 and 4 is where he's really strong. He was the last couple laps.
Watch as the 2 car closes up on the back bumper, like Wally talked about. Right there is where he's making that gain.
Rusty Wallace has led 10 of his 14 career Winston Cup races here at Phoenix. Last year's race, he led 91 laps. Looked like a potential winner. Was not to be. At the checkers, he wound up 15th. 60 races since Rusty Wallace has been to victory lane. Nearly 2 seasons worth. And Rusty, one of the drivers involved in that tight fight for 3rd place in the championship standings. Bill, he's desperate to break the winless streak, but he also still feels he's got a shot at 3rd and maybe more in the championship.
Hopeful for more than that, but certainly looking at the top 3, Alan. And the thing about Rusty, you mentioned that he's desperate, and we've talked about it for weeks, but the big concern with this team now is that Rusty doesn't overdrive the car, get too aggressive, be too determined, and hurt his own chances. Earlier in the season, they had a talk with Rusty, saying you can't win it on the first lap. At Pocono, Bobby Allison walked up to Rusty, put his finger in his face, and said, "What did I tell you years ago? That it only matters where you're at on the last lap." Rusty fell out early at Pocono, finished 40th. Those thoughts go through his mind and through his team's mind. Bobby Allison has tremendous respect for Rusty Wallace. Rusty, a lot of love for Bobby Allison. When he talks, Rusty listens.
And Rusty Wallace right now, Bill, going for the lead. He's getting loose. And, oh, baby!
And Bill, you talked about overdriving this racetrack. You can do that real easy here at Phoenix because you have to get in the corner so deep. And when you're racing somebody, it's real easy to overdrive the car into the corners.
Be patient.
Bill Wilburn, crew chief, talking to Rusty Wallace.
And Rusty dove down on the inside of the 97 car. Didn't have all the racetrack. Didn't have enough downforce on the back of the car and almost lost control.
So that gives Kurt Busch a little clear sailing for the time being in the lead. He's about 3/4 of a second ahead now of Rusty, with Jeff Gordon now trying to close behind Rusty for 2nd place. Remember on Countdown to Green? Showed you their little confrontation in Rockingham last weekend.
Jeff's back to that high line. That groove he really likes working for him right now. Rusty's trying to stay on the bottom. In fact, I'm surprised there's not more guys, Benny, running on the apron down in 1 and 2 because of, yesterday everybody was really tight. You hit the apron and it actually rotates the car and helps you turn off. But I'm not seeing too many guys down there just yet. Right in there. Boy, Rusty's just about there.
Scott Wimmer was involved in the crash that brought out that last caution, or actually 2 cautions ago now. We had the debris yellow also. Matt Yoakum's with him.
and a big disappointment for Scott Wimmer. The team just trying to fix the car to get it on the truck. What happened from your vantage point, Scott?
I don't know. I came off before. I thought I gave Robbie Gordon enough room. I don't know if he got loose and just come down to my right rear, turned me in the wall. But not a real good day for the Siemens. We were hoping to run a little better after winning yesterday, but we'll just fix the car and bring it back next year.
They had a lot of confidence and high hopes for today after yesterday's win.
Michael Waltrip trying to get a lap back from leader Kurt Busch. Michael in 22nd place.
All right, Mikey.
Not giving up on it.
Now he is working that high line to perfection while they're all around this racetrack. Talking about Michael Waltrip.
So lead lap for the Napa car, hoping for a caution. Kurt Busch leading in the wild, wild west.
Break out before you get bumped. When I bounce into the Cisco.
Home Depot presents NASCAR Winston Cup Racing from Phoenix on NBC. Just past the halfway point of today's event, and Kurt Busch is out in front, seeking a 4th victory in the 2002 campaign. Check the Napa field summary just past the midway point of the race. Leaders today: Dale Earnhardt Jr., Kurt Busch, Jeff Gordon, Brian Newman, Matt Kenseth, and Dave Blaney, with Jr. leading by far the most laps so far. Only cars out of the race: Scott Wimmer from a crash, and Tony Raines went to the garage area a little while ago. Championship standings: Mark Martin runs 4th, Tony Stewart runs 6th. They entered the race 112 points apart, so Mark in position to gain 10 on Tony. Sum up what that means: Tony is not in position to clinch the title here today, but Mark's not gaining a whole lot on him either to go to the final race in Homestead, Florida next Sunday.
For Mark Martin to feel like he has a chance at Homestead, I think he needs to be within 40 or 50 points when we leave here, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Meanwhile, that's a pretty doggone good battle for 3rd spot right there between Jeff Gordon, 24, Mark Martin in 6.
Now Mark took 4th place from Elliott Sadler a little while ago, BP, and pretty quickly caught up to Jeff.
Jeff Gordon is running a very different line than Mark Martin. He's running around the top of the racetrack, turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, which allows Mark to pull up on the inside, but it gives Jeff Gordon that great run down the straightaway.
Yeah, and it's hard to make up ground getting in because, like I said, the car on the high side usually can run deeper. Mark's a little quicker through the center, but now Jeff will come off of turn 4 and see he's got the momentum.
And this is where a driver has to balance his desire to get by with those tires that he's trying to save.
See right there, Mark got sideways, and that's what you can't do here. You can, you run side by side, but if you get those tires hot, which you're going to get them hotter racing another car, then your car's going to start to slide. So you got to get back in line, cool things down a little bit, then take another run at him.
Mark Martin, the 93 winner of this race. Let's do our singular call to the pits. Check in with Bill Weber. Bill?
Well, Alan, just wanted to update you on the 8 car. Dale Earnhardt Jr. down here trying to decide if he's unlucky that he ran out of fuel, which he definitely was, or if he's more lucky that he was able to stay on the lead lap, currently running 9th. So it's depending on which way you want to look at it. Earnhardt's had bad luck and good luck just to remain in contention. But right now, this car is just way too loose. In fact, a moment ago, he told the crew that the car is rolling over on the right rear. It's a handful right now on this very slick track. So Earnhardt Jr. with his hands full in that 8 Budweiser Chevy. Marty?
Bill, kind of the same story for Matt Kenseth, who also ran out of fuel under the last caution, actually 2 cautions ago, under the last pit stops. He came on the radio when he ran out of fuel and he said, boys, we just lost the race right there. Robbie Reiser, his crew chief, very quick on the radio, tell the team, keep your heads up. We've got an excellent car. And look where Matt is now. He's all the way up to the 8th position, and they have a fast race car.
Last lap by was just as fast as the leader, Kurt Busch.
And he was on that apron I was talking about a little earlier. He dropped down, helping his car turn in the corners.
Working it and working it and working it.
And that's all you can do right here is just keep working them, hoping to maybe Jeff make a mistake, go in a little bit deep, slide a little high, almost like he did there.
Mark It just looked like Mark's car when he coming up off that corner. He almost had to like turn it twice.
Well, you have to, because really you need to use the whole racetrack in order to keep your momentum as you're down on the bottom of the racetrack. Well, Jeff was there, so you're absolutely right, Alan. He's got to turn the car twice to keep it off of Jeff, and when he does that, it's actually slowing the car down coming off the corner.
Yeah, they can run through the corner side by side, but when they exit, they need to be in exactly the same spot, about right there. And if Jeff Gordon is out there, Mark Martin not allowed to let his car drift up, it becomes a problem. We talked about yesterday, all these guys putting tape on their windshields for a sun visor, and you can see how this problem is going to get worse and worse as they drive down in turn 1 and drive into a setting sun. Visibility becomes almost nil.
The windshield tear-offs that they use to give the driver a clean view throughout the race have become so important in recent years, especially at places like this. Watch how much of the track disappears right here.
And see right here, right up here in this area right here is where the tape is. And that, like yesterday, we put a bunch of tape. We put tape all the way down about that far to help the glare going into turn 1, as Benny was talking about.
Mark Martin has a phenomenal record here at Phoenix. 7 top 5 finishes in 14 Winston Cup races. He's certainly in the hunt for another one, running 4th just past halfway today.
But unfortunately, he can look up in the rearview mirror and see Tony Stewart, the guy that he's trying to gain points on. Every time he looks up, he's right there. And he said, well, I'm not doing a very good job gaining points today.
Wally, you got a ranch, right?
Yes.
You have any bulls on your ranch?
Any bulls? No.
No?
No bulls, just deer.
Thought you might be able to help me with this little announcement about next Sunday's professional bull riding show.
Can't help you there.
NBC, 4 Eastern Time, the Mohegan Sun Invitational, the world's most daring cowboys trying to handle 2,000 pounds of bulls. That would be plural. Next Sunday, 4 Eastern on NBC.
But I really like steak. Does that mean anything?
No, I don't think so.
It's still hard to believe that they're in Connecticut riding bulls.
Well, some people find it hard to believe that there's Winston Cup racing in Phoenix. Been here since 1988.
A lot of folks show up each year.
Yep. Better than 100,000 here today. There are 78,812 seats at Phoenix International Raceway. They're all full. Plus the hillside up off turn 4. As you see this massive crowd basking in the sun. Kurt Busch is basking in the lead right now, 2.5 seconds up on Rusty Wallace. You're watching NASCAR on NBC.